Just the two games for Super Saturday this week. The Warriors got a good victory at home in the wet over the Broncos, and the Roosters got dusted by last year's premiers, the Panthers. What do you think, guys? Are they back? I know Cleary looked pretty good, obviously with his fantasy score and his Supercoach score, but Dylan Edwards was a massive improvement. We'll have to see over the coming weeks. But congrats to the Wars on this one, incredible victory with the scoring led by the Broncos players in Payne Haas, Carrigan, and Tony Staggs had an absolute banger of a game. Very impressive there. Let's kick it off with Payne Haas with the 73 in 61 minutes. Thankfully, he snuck up there in the end when he was on, I think it was 42 in like his 38 or 37, whatever it was, 39 minutes. And I was like, oh, this feels like with 22 minutes to go, like it's time for Haas to go bang. And then I think he was on 49 with 9 minutes to go. And I was like, of course he is. Of course he is. We buy him and he just turns to crap. And thankfully he pushed it forward for a 73 with just the one negative stat with a -1. So type of scores we do need from you, Payne, is priced at 69. So that 73 is very helpful for us owners, which I think is the majority of people. There seems, every time I look at top 1,000, top 5,000 numbers today anyway, both him and Cleary are almost fully owned. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it must just be the people that I'm seeing a lot of people that still didn't pick up Haas, and yeah, they must be outside the top 5K, because I look at those numbers and I'm like, oh sweet, Haas is not fully owned, Cleary's not fully owned, they both scored well. I look and basically everyone has them, so there you go. But 61 minutes for him was needed in this game. Couldn't get the win for him in the end with the 5 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, and thankfully he's gone over 2 for the first time this week since he had 5 and 7 in round 2 and 3. So yeah, we'll take it. We needed it. Carrigan, full game for him, 66 points, 53 tackles, 195 run meters. So 72 in base. Incredible efforts from Paddy. And my missus will be very happy with that one. Still not happy with Walshy. She's thought how consistent he's been over the last few years, apart from when he's got a head knock or whatever else. And he's just been so bad and did cop an injury in this one, to be fair. But yeah, shout out to her for Paddy and had him all year. Stagsy, 59 for him in this one with the line break and the 11 tackle breaks, as I said. Really good efforts there. Good defensively as well. Made a real grass-cutting tackle on Tulpiki on that left-hand side in the end, which was a really good try-saver. Didn't get it, but a try-saving tackle about 8 metres out. Ford with 66 minutes, had the head knock and still plays 66, so we know who definitely one of the beneficiaries is of Fish being out is Jackson Ford. And we did think that last week, and a few people in the private crew were talking about it. They thought that Ford was probably going to play bigger minutes, and was the case. Here in this one, it showed with 55 in 66. He'll be very interesting because he's playing more minutes than guys like Barnett, and we know that at this price of 584, it's a pretty handy little effort. But with the edge only, there are a lot of other edges that are doing some good work. Speaking of youngsters doing good work, Halasima, 69 minutes for him in this one, 54 points with that try, and an absolute barnstormer of a player. 4 tackle breaks and offload for him. 92 run meters, solid. 23 tackles, also okay. It does look like he'll need some attacks to do well, and that was the case in this one. Did a great job, and we'll see if Kate Wall does stay out in the centres or if he pushes back and Halasima goes to the bench or not. We'll see that next week, and we'll know from Team List anyway to have a look. But if you did jump on early, take the 54 happily. Aaron Clark, speaking of guys that don't need as much in attack, it's Aaron Clark there with 2 tackle breaks, 1 offload, but 45 in pure base there and no negatives in this one for a 53. It's a very, very good effort from Aaron. 29 tackles, 160 run meters, and 60 minutes for him. The boys are also talking about, when Ford got the HIA, maybe that's when Clark would have been close to going off, but he did play the full half a footy and then came back on for another 20-minute stint. Not too far after that, give or take, however it worked with the rotations, but a big stint for him to start, 37 points in that one. And he's almost up to where he's priced at. And with the hooker duel, the mid for round 12 as well, could be a very, very important player to slot in there to potentially cover one of those 2 positions, which is a great thing. It's if a really good couple of mids pop up, cheaper mids, all that type of stuff, then that could be sweet. And then if a better hooker comes along, you could pick him up as well. But Wade Egan, speaking of the guys that are doing really well in hooker, 52 for him, and in 67 minutes, 45 tackles, 2 turnover tackles in the end, just got him over the line in a game where he got a little bit of a rest, which is good to see that he can do it if he happens to play 67 minutes, which was the case in this one. They were able to cover those 13, 14 minutes with the extra time there, which was great. Exactly what this team needs is for him to have a little rest at certain times, and they could still get the win. So great work there. Barnett, 60 minutes is great, but just the scoring output is not there this year. So could definitely still look at him a little bit, but it's not someone that I'm personally looking to target. Reynolds, 47. Metcalf, 46 with another try. Good kick meters in there for him, 455, with Harris Tavita getting 174. So if you still own, then these scores have been enough for you to hold strong, and he still has made 62k for the year. Harris Tavita with 45 himself, with a try assist, good tackle numbers, a little bit across the board like he has all year, and he's averaging 44.3, so it's been a great own. And if you do still own, then I think you can easily hold for another week or so and milk him in that half spot, which has been pretty difficult, especially with the news of Mr. Campbell, JC, out this week. And we don't know how long it's going to be, but there's, the talk was him being out and going for scans on his syndesmosis, potentially syndesmosis injury, which may be true. The question is going to be how many people are going to trade him out. I saw there's already a decent amount that have in the top 1,000, and I'm thinking about it myself. And what's the funny thing here is 5 games have passed, and I still haven't made any trades yet, and I'm most likely going to make 3. So pretty wild. I end up just trying to loop in this second game, the Roosters one, and see how it plays out, and then I'm going to make my decisions tonight. And I think I've got an idea of what I'm going to do and who's going to come out, but we'll give it a few more hours tonight after dinner and see what's happening here around my team and those trades. Tuapiki had 40. Corey Pakes in the end played off the bench for 36 minutes. So they changed him with Walters, and after all the big minute games he's had, went back to 36, but still scored pretty similarly with 2 turnover tackles and 31 tackles straight up, 3 meters gained, but no points other than tackles and turnovers. Pretty funny. Ricky back for a 36, not ideal. Valmarga with a 30. Willison 62 minutes for a 33. So he's getting some big minutes out there, but this one was mainly on the edge, as we could see there, where he was named. Shibasaki, 30 for him. How he didn't get a line break for that play. I was looking at Supercoach. I was like, I didn't end up playing him in Supercoach in the end, unfortunately. 56 off the bench with a line break. And I was like, he had a line break and a bunch of tackle breaks that they just missed. And Haas was 77. A fairly low game overall, to be fair, for Supercoach, with Walsh getting 56, Reynolds 53. And yeah, that's the main sort of stuff there. Arthur's in there with a 44 with a try and a line break as well. But yeah, they gave him the line break and everything in Shivers. And then I was looking back at the game. I was like, wasn't there a play where he did? And he absolutely burst through the line. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, they probably need to revert that in Supercoach, having watched it back actually. And yeah, it ended up being a downtown penalty. So they took it all the way back to the start. So maybe Fantasy have got it right and Supercoach has got it wrong, actually. It's been a long day, clearly. So that's what, leave that there with Shibasaki. Walshy, 24 with a try assist, line break assist, and a try, and a bang knee, and there's a good chance that he's out next week. So he got through it. He ran around fairly clearly in the back end of that game, and did pick up an offload to the crown there. But yeah, not great. If you did buy him this week, I did see a lot, like 140 odd in the top 1,000. Ended up buying him, which was pretty wild in that one. I'll quickly show you where the par is after 5 games. So if you've used 10 players there, 545 without your captain is where about par is. 609 is captain, 9 is 490 and 548, 11 is 599 and 670. So it looks like the more players you've had seem to be pretty decent scores across the board. So hopefully people like myself, with I think 8 players left and my captain, I didn't captain Cleary. The merry-go-round keeps winning against me, but I'm glad I did own Cleary in this one. But yeah, that's the players. Cleary just 6.3% captain in the top 1,000, 2% from Isaiah Yeo there. 18.7 Payne Haas, 72.4 for Terrell May in that final game. But yeah, the guys that were traded in, so Campbell's already been traded out 80 times out of the top 1,000. Rob Toyer, 69. Poor fellow, got the try. I called that he'd get the try, but still only at 41. But they did get spanked in the end. Connor Watson being sold by 48 was tough. But Tedesco, 130 trade-ins. Reece Walsh, 124 trade-ins. I was so close to getting Teddy as well. I just thought, I've got so many Roosters. Do I need another one? Thankfully, that was some luck on my side. We won't complain about that one. But yeah, Walshy, I just can't push anyone to look to buy him in. And how Leatua gets 8 in 82 minutes in a game where they win as well, that is wild. And then Tamati Martin came on for 23 minutes there as well. And Jaden Hunt, after doing so well last week, he gets pushed back to the bench. So, yeah, very interesting game that was. And we look to the next game, and thankfully some decent scores out of this Roosters and Penrith clash compared to what we saw from them last week. But a quick look at the Supercoach scores in that one. I had Cleary for 98. I had Rob Toyer for 66. Sam Smith on the bench. Jenkins at 33 in the starting side. And it was him or Shibasaki, to be honest. It could have been like Tamale, but we did leave him out after playing him last week, of course. It's probably the Tamale show this week coming. You watch after I likely sell him in fantasy as well. But yeah, Alamotti and Dylan Edwards back to some of his best with a 128. Nafahu White, after I sold him this week in the end for Pappy, picks up a 75. And for owners of him in fantasy, I did mention that for like one bad week, it's pretty tough to sell him after one bad one. And all of the rest, he was absolutely crushing. And I'm hoping people took my advice on that one because it's 65 minutes, 57. They did lose Nat Butcher early in this one as well to an injury, which was tough. But Nafahu White, 57. Back to the high tackle numbers. 3 tackle breaks and offload. Big run meters again, a 169. So cracking effort from him. But this is all the Cleary and Edwards show, 93 and 74 apiece. For Cleary to not have a try assist, a line break assist, any attacking stats, to then get 93 is just spectacular, and it shows the quality that he does possess. It was great to see him back to some good tackle numbers, over 20 and 2 misses, just really gets him up in the high scores. 7 goals, the 3 offloads, the 2 turnover tackles, the 659 kick meters, the 3 forced dropouts, and 2 turnover tackles. So just did it everywhere and gets his average back up to 56.8, which is so low still, but really levels him out. And sorry guys, hopefully if we do end up selling him in round 12, it's at a good number, a really good price at over 100k, which would be good. So we'll see how that one plays out. But a big win from Panthers and a tough loss from Roosters, with Edwards getting the 74 with 2 try assists, a try, 9 tackle breaks, back to some of his best, 238 meters like he did last week. Connor Watson, 63 for him in 75. The Edwards one I find interesting, given him or Teddy, who's going to make the spot. And if Edwards plays like this in the next month, then I still think that he keeps that Origin jersey. But yeah, this was probably a decent tryout for the side. So yeah, Edwards, he could have been the play this week, and I did see a few people jump on. So congrats to you for doing that one after a bit of a slow start. He was absolutely needed, and yeah, it turns out was the clear option. Barring Origin, I just mean at least for this next section, the problem there could be that if you did buy him, he misses round 11, and then he could be out for round 12, and you'd need to sell him most likely anyway. So that was the risk, but it paid off this week and could pay off going forward. But Watson, the 63, a really good game for him with a try assist for Rob Toyer. It was a thing of beauty off the scrum. 53 tackles, 61 run meters, and I swear he had 2 tackle breaks early, and they took him away. I'm not sure if that is correct or what's going on there. He had 1 early, I think, and then built to another, and then they were taken away. Can anyone comment below? Let me know your thoughts on that one. It was also good to have Isaiah Yeo in this one, 61. Just as been crushing it recently and back to the pack slightly, but just, less tackles in this game when they were winning. No tackle breaks, no offloads. So to still get 61 just shows his class. And Watson one is just a massive win. For those that held him a couple of weeks ago for a couple of low ones to come out, and then that big score was great. Alamotti, finally a return game from him after a few low ones there, 60 with 2 tries. And 2 low breaks going to the wrong wing. We want him to go to Jenko, but unfortunately the other side was where they found their wins, the Penrith Panthers, on that left-hand defence of the Roosters there. Nawangi Tuaze with a 56 with a try assist there, an offload. He was flying early and end up with a great score there. So congrats to owners of him, and hoping you did play him, because he was a good option this week against what has been a lackluster defence from the Panthers. And he just looks like a great player. And the question next week is going to be, who out of the 3, Toya, Nwangi Tuaze, or Billy Smith, misses out? Now they're all fit. That's a tough one. Lindsay Smith ended up working pretty hard for his 52. So if you did look at him, if you do own, well done there. Mitch Kenny's 46. And the annoying one for myself here was the Siwa Wong. He was on 32 very quickly, well before half time, and then it just fell apart, unfortunately. He had 2 offloads early. Again, another guy that had a tackle break that got taken away. I'm not sure what's going on there. 33 tackles. The 1 turnover tackle, 94 run meters. They did get spanked, so it was actually annoying to see just the 33 tackles there. I'm not sure what's going on with the tackle breaks. Hopefully that does fix up for him and Watson, but I wasn't able to watch this one closely, giving them away. But 44 for him. Rob Toya, 41, and that try was good. A line break assist as well. Base numbers a little bit down, but 2 turnover tackles helped him out as well. So keeps him going, and we'll see how he looks over, if he does make the side, or if he happens to be dropped and we need to move him on over the next week or so. Radley's 36, pretty low. Sorensen, same deal. Liam Henry, a few people asked about him. I was like, let's just watch for a few weeks. Only 31 minutes, even though starting was interesting. We know his PPM's awesome. Case McLean, 35 there. He gets to try and line break. Just get it out to Jenko. Of course, they're all out there on Jenkins, and McLean can basically just step back on the inside a little bit and go over. Savala, 502 kick meters, 24 tackles, so 40 in base there, but still only picked up a 35. So it's going to be a pretty solid buy for people over the next few weeks, but there's still going to be pressure on a couple, him or Sandon's spot over the next bunch with a loss here. So I think we'll see how next week goes. But Savala could be an easy cash down option again next week, although there's so many guys that are injured at high prices, with JC going down as well, one of the highest price guys in the game. Faketi with 33 in 51, Blake Steve 32. If anyone's still kicking on with him, Isaiah Papali'i with a pretty good try, actually, a good chase. Pierce 31, you had Tungo with 28, Teddy with 22. This was the sad one here. Took him a long time to get started. Had one run there where he got a couple of tackle breaks, got his offload there, 119 meters. They got spanked. It'll be better from here, but not ideal there. Again, people were shouting for a TO from Jenkins, didn't get it. Had a great start to a tackle break and an offload in his first run, was on 7 in 5 minutes, and then just the score wouldn't go up for the rest of the game. So that was frustrating. I did play him and get that 20 score, but can't win them all, as they say. Butcher was 6 off 9 minutes as well. So tough one for him. He's definitely someone that I think we have to monitor when he does return, given that 6 is going to tank his score a bit under 600k pretty quickly. So there you go, guys. If you do own Watson, it was a win in Supercoach as well, and the 77 from Isaiah Yeo was good as well. Wong for 47, a pretty tough couple of weeks for him if you did buy after the big score, especially in fantasy as well. So that one is a bit frustrating for me, given we know how well he can accumulate stats, and then the last couple, he's gone away from that, just accumulating in different ways, whether it was on the running side or in heavy amounts of tackles, which we saw in previous weeks. So not as ideal there. We'll have to wait and see what the landscape looks like after this week in round 7 and work it out from there. So there you go, guys. That's the Super Saturday 2-game update, and I wish you guys all the best of luck for the last 3 games. We'll catch you at least after all 3 of them, but maybe after tomorrow's too. See how we go. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.